Hello and welcome to the very first episode of our brand new podcast, Take It From the Top.
The singer's guide to thriving and surviving in all corners of the music industry.
Now, if you're wondering who on earth we are, my name is Hayley Sanderson. I'm a session vocalist, mostly known for my work on Strictly Come Dancing. And my fabulous co-host is one of my oldest, nearest and dearest friends, the musician and broadcaster, Gavin Ashley Cooper.
Between us, we have covered an awful lot in the music industry, from arranging, MDing to performing. But for this podcast, we are your industry insiders.
We'll be breaking down exactly what's expected of you as a vocalist in the professional world.
And we're not going to be doing it on our own. We've got guests and we've got interviews with MDs, performers and directors. We're going to be talking about everything from the recording studio through to the stage.
So hit subscribe, and to view us in full Technicolor glory, head over to our YouTube channel where you can verbally abuse us with your comments and questions.
So whether you are a seasoned professional, whether you are training or just starting out in the industry, this podcast is for you. So Hayley, shall we take it from the top?
Let's do it. Let's begin.
So, initially, let's talk about why we started this podcast, because it's quite niche. It's not like a big sort of subject.
It's not about breakfast cereal and food.
It's really specific. It's about the music industry. It's about singing, and I guess let's talk a little bit about why we started it. Because we basically had a conversation about teaching, didn't we?
Yeah.
And one of the things that we get asked quite a lot is, I really want to be a singer. How do I do that? And we were doing a gig a little while ago, and some of the other artists,
young artists, making me feel really old.
You are one,
asking
darling.
me questions and talking about their careers.
Neither of us spring chickens anymore. Anyway, but they asked about how do I do it?
And you can't really answer,
No.
not in a quick way, and that's why not do a podcast about it, because there are so many different areas that you can work in within this industry. Everyone I've ever worked with has come from a different background. We've all got different experiences, and we're all on I hate this word, but a slightly different journey.
Yeah. Well, so let's just take you and me, for example, because we're sitting doing this podcast together, but we are not like each other in career paths at all. We've had completely different career paths.
Training.
No. So I started out playing the organ, doing like church choir-y stuff, which was a great background to get kind of ensemble work and to learn how to sing choral stuff, holding lines, and then have sort of progressed through into theatre. Had a really lovely career in theatre, and I now teach vocal production for a theatre school, but I also work with people doing speeches. So the whole vocal thing for me comes from a place of very traditional, very old school, and very regimented. So like learning Bach harmony and learning some really rigid rules about how music should work. But of course, you're not. I envy you so much, because it's a lot more of a free career. You get to do much more fun stuff than I got to do.
Yeah, although everyone I know that has come from the choir sort of choral aspect, they're some of the best musicians I've ever worked with.
Thank you.
In the jazz world, in the arranging world, their ears are fabulous. And the same with the gospel choirs, actually. A lot of the singers I work with come from that.
Yeah,
because their blend is brilliant, their ears are fantastic. Yeah. It just works differently.
The person I think of is Dudley Moore. So, long dead, but was an organ scholar at Oxford. He was at Magdalen, really classical. But when you hear him playing jazz piano, you just go, wow. And his understanding of harmony is just
Nina Simone as well.
Exactly, absolutely.
And then Rick Wakeman. So moving into the prog rock thing comes from the classical background. Nina Simone, oh my gosh, like just the jazz thing mixed with the classical. It's so unique and beautiful. So I don't think anyone has to have a specific training. I mean, my thing was my uncle had a soul band, and I used to work in a recording studio. And I was gigging at the age of 12 in the pubs and clubs with a PA system and stuff. So it's very different backgrounds, but people cross and they meet and they learn from each other, which I think is
and I think so. With the whole question of how do you start? Where do I go? What's my although there is no answer, I just think the first thing is openness to learning and working with other people, because there is no right way. There is no I'm good at this and this is the way you should do it. If you have an art, if you have a talent or a skill, then you take ownership of that, but share it, and also never stop learning. I mean, even at the ripe age of 40, take stuff on board, learn stuff.
I would say never stop learning and never stop listening. The best people, again, that I've ever learnt from have just shown me new music or things I'd never heard before, or things that maybe I'd heard before but hadn't really landed with me. So, for example, when I was a young girl, I wasn't really into Frank Sinatra, but then one day I heard Frank Sinatra and it made sense because you're at a different point in your life. So just because you think you're not into something, you don't know when that might change. Yeah. So always listen, always try something new. Always work with musicians who are better than you, with singers who are better than you, because if you stick to being the best in a small pond, then you're never going to expand. You're never going to get better. You should always push yourself.
Yeah. So just ask, so the question then, I guess we've posed is how do you start? So I know we've said you can't answer it, but what do you say to people when they say, how do I start this?
I'd say find what you love, firstly, because as we've just discussed, this industry isn't for those who think they're going to be millionaires. I mean, yes, you might be the next Ed Sheeran. Well done, fantastic, but it might not happen. Yeah. So if you're coming into this, make sure you love it and then find what you love. So whether that's jazz or classical or jump into that and find other like-minded people who are into that, start a band or join a choir or a theatre group. Whatever it is you want to do, just try it. You might not like it. It might not be the place for you. But the more experience you have, I mean, I've definitely been a jack of all trades. I've tried a bit of theatre, I tried a bit of jazz, I tried a bit of rock, I've tried a bit of TV work. I've done all the different things. Yeah. And it's helped create who I am. Well, I don't really know who I am. That's probably why I work well on Strictly, because I do lots of all the different styles because I've experienced those things. So I have a slight bit of knowledge of all the different types of genres.
So let's talk a little bit about training then, because with having your niche, knowing where you're going, knowing what your gifts are, but actually going back to you and me, for example, I was very formally trained. I mean, tell us a little bit about your path, because I'm not being shady, but I mean, there's very little formal training there.
How dare you? I got an A star at GCSE music.
Well done.
No, I did have some classical singing growing up, and because I was so young, I don't regret it now, because it's given me a basis, like especially for breathing techniques and stuff. It's been fabulous. But my first singing teacher made me terrified of belting above a middle C. So even now, when it comes to belt songs or sop, especially like Wicked or Idina Menzel or something, I'm just like, oh my goodness, I don't want to use that sound. It's too high. It's just not in my nature to do that now, which is a shame. But I've tried lots of different vocal coaches. I even went to David and Cary Grant, so I did some pop stuff with them. I had lots of different, Kim Chandler, who is fabulous. You should check her out. She's really good as well. And I steal little bits from different teachers that work for me. So you should always try lots of different teachers, I think. And then obviously my uncle was in a soul band and he knew a lot of local musicians. So I started working in recording studios and recording my own songs, arranging harmonies, which was my favourite thing to do ever. So that was more where I started out. And then the theatre, which is where I met you.
Indeed it was, yeah.
So I did
all those years ago.
Yeah, I couldn't dance very well.
You were employed as a choreographer, weren't you?
Yeah. Babe, I played saxophone at Wembley. I can't play the saxophone. I'll do anything if you pay me.
I played saxophone in a pit. I don't play the saxophone either.
Yeah. So yes, I was a choreographer once.
Training is another one of those things where, we'll come on to what there is in the music industry for singers and the kind of different career paths you can take. But training is one of those things that's it's so broad. And I now work in training. I train young musical theatre performers, but that is by no means the same as the training that someone doing a music degree will get, or someone at a conservatoire, or even just someone doing a normal music degree at a university. The training, it differs so much. So I think, you know, you've got to find where you want to train and what you want to get out of your training. Musical theatre training is not going to teach you to sing above, you know, top C's on a regular basis, because it's not that's not what it's there to do. It's not there to hone. It's there to broaden and to find your niche, to give you that training which helps your vocal health, but it's almost a sort of help yourself kind of training.
Yeah, it's difficult because I think you need to find what you're comfortable with as well, because I find with musical theatre singers, you're getting to work with an MD a lot who'll talk about placement, when to put the vibrato on, when to get louder, to get quieter, etc., etc. Whereas if you're going to then walk into Ronnie Scott's and do a jazz thing and you've got no idea what the intro is going to be, no one's going to tell you, you've just got to learn these things, then you've got to find the right training, basically, because it might not be for you. Whichever, saying I want to be a singer, well, what type of singer? Do you want to be a session vocalist where you've got to be able to read sometimes? Not all session singers do. You just got to have really good ears and be really super quick. So it's difficult because you don't want to hinder yourself by taking certain training, but then it might be a way to find out that that's not for you as well.
Certainly for me, reading was always a really important part of my education. But the more I do now, the more I sort of work in areas that are not musical theatre and go into sort of doing it's really basic things, like someone says, you know, can you come and play for a party? Can you play for a wedding reception? Or can you just sit in the corner and fumble away? I kind of just go, actually, leave the music away sometimes. Take some crib sheets, but actually that kind of using your ear and using your intuition is a skill that I'm kind of developing slightly later. I mean, going back to early, you know, there's always something you can learn. You can never stop going.
Yeah. I think I did mine the other way around. So I started with my ears, and then obviously the more sessions and stuff you do. I mean, there are singers that can walk in and they hit the bell and they read and it happens and it's fantastic. And I'm in the corner shaking, pretending, like just following up and down. But I can use that skill of reading. I'm not super quick, but it really is helpful. And I'd say even if you're a session singer who can't read, but the music's put in front of you, just look at where it's going. You'll get used to how long a note is. You'll get used to the shape. You know if it's going up or down.
That's exactly what I say. Whether I'm working with the students at university or whether I'm working with an Amdram group, I say to them, use the music, follow it along. Don't just read the words. Follow the pattern. Look at where it goes up. Because music is not written music. It doesn't take a genius. If the note goes up, it goes up. If it goes down, and you can see, you know, if it goes up a lot, you know, you've got to, and learning those intervals and just learning what they look like can do more for you than learning rudiments and learning intricate theory about.
But again, it depends on where you're headed in the industry, because also I'll learn a piece of music and I'll think I can sing it really well. And then the music goes in front of me. I won't, and then I'll see what note it is, and I can't hit it anymore.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah,
and then I get a panic because I've suddenly seen. No, this is too high for me. Well, it wasn't 10 minutes ago, but now it is. I mean, so it's one of those things.
I'll fess up a little bit. I tell lies because you'll be rehearsing a piece, and you'll get some musical theatre singers, any singers, will say, "What note is that?" Yeah. And I lie because I know full well if I say, it's top F, they're going to go, oh, that red light fever, which we will talk about, comes on, and you go, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
It's madness.
And so I do often lie. And
there was a song I thought I might have to do on Strictly the other week. I was practicing it and I was like, I can't sing it. And then I got the sheet through and realised I wasn't having to sing it that week. Suddenly I could sing it. Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah. Do you ever do it when do you ever learn a piece struggle to learn it, perform it and go, "Ugh." And the moment the performance is done, you sing it in the car and it's perfect.
Babe, don't. Some of my performances are so regret so much.
Just normal.
Or if they've been going really well, or I don't think it's a problem, and then they're the ones that go wrong. It's just, you just don't know.
No. Okay, so we've touched on a little bit about learning, education, training, and you mentioned session work, and we've done a bit of musical theatre, but given it's the first episode, I think it's important we kind of cover what is out there.
Yeah.
What yes, you want to be a singer. Let's unpack that, because people say that and you say, okay, well done you, but what do you mean you want to be a singer? You want to be a karaoke singer? Go and do it. That's fine. Have a lovely time. But when you say I want to be a singer, do you want to be a session singer? Do you want to be, I think a lot of people have that idea that I want to be a singer. I'm going to be the next Ed Sheeran, Celine Dion, Adele. I'm going to have this great mic and have an audience. Most of us just want to make music.
Yeah.
So what is there? What is there out there for?
I mean, actually, a lot of people in the session world don't start off thinking, oh, I really want to be a backing singer. Some people do. There are some brilliant backing singers whose blend is fantastic. They do not want to be the centre of attention. They want to do harmonies. That's what they've always wanted to do. But a lot of people, myself included, I started off, as I say, working in the studio, writing my own songs. I was going to be a fabulous artist.
You are a fabulous artist.
Thanks, darling. And I only got into the session world because I joined a girl band first.
Okay.
Yes, we were 4 lead singer-songwriters. You can imagine. Drama. With Jill Marie Cooper, she was on The Voice. Nicola Brazil was her stage name. She was a lead in Grease. And Trisha McTeague, who now does dance music. So we were all doing our own thing, and we were all into different things. So Nikki was a country singer. Jill was like powerhouse. Trisha was more rock, and then I was into jazz and soul, and sort of together. It was a really weird mix, but we loved it, and we loved the harmonies. I loved arranging stuff for us. Trish was a fabulous songwriter. It was really good fun. But we thought we were amazing. We were horribly big-headed, actually. I say we. I'll take credit for some of that. But we worked with everybody. We worked with like Nile Rodgers, Narada Michael Walden. We had so many opportunities that didn't happen for one reason or another. And then we met some musicians in that. And I met Carl Brazil, who's the drummer for Robbie Williams. And he said, when it all fell apart, he was like, I can't do a Birmingham accent. Birmingham, you'll be great, you know. Do you want to come and do some session work? That's so terrible. Okay. And then he introduced me to Leo.
Yeah.
And then the next week I had a residency at Ronnie Scott's, and I'd recorded a massive advert campaign for O2 or something. It was huge.
Yeah.
Oh,
Talk, wasn't it? Oh, we're singing it in that photo, aren't we? That's literally what we're singing in that photo.
Yeah, so it was like a massive, massive hit. I think it got to number 21 in the charts or something. But I just thought, oh my gosh, I've just moved to London, and look how brilliant life is for me now. Well, it wasn't always like that. I suddenly thought I was in the money. I was like, oh, it's going to be like this every single day. It was not. It was not. And the second you step into that session world, it's really hard once you start earning money to continue on the artistic route. So I was still writing songs, and I was still trying to push myself. There was a point where there was talks with labels, and I think it was between like me and Paloma Faith, and she had just been in a movie. So obviously we all love Paloma. We're going to sign Paloma because she'll... And I had this big ballad song, and they were like, we want 10 more of these. And I was like... no, I want to do it my way again. Another issue with Hayley Sanderson. No.
This is not therapy, by the way.
It might as well be. But yeah, so I didn't end up doing the artist path. And it's just so easy once money comes in from the industry to just keep saying yes. And I think if you're genuinely going to be an artist, you have to sell your soul, earn no money, give up everything. Don't worry about reading music and stuff. Just get on with.
But there is an element to that which actually, if you're going to be a singer, you are first and foremost, you've got to be a business person, because you've got to find the work. You've got to sell yourself. You've got to work out how to get those gigs, because those gigs don't just come along.
Yeah, and even as an artist or as a session vocalist or as a West End star, because when you're out of work, you still have to pay the bills between those contracts.
Yeah, yeah. So, you might get a good contract which lasts a week, 2 weeks of session work. You go, I'm living my best life. 2 weeks later, there's nothing. And that's just how it is. I think there's a real illusion. Is that the right word? Illusion or kind of misconception?
Yes.
Better word. As to what actually working in this industry and being a singer actually does for you.
Well, a lot of people do weddings, and actually there's lots of money in weddings, more so than touring with the big artists, actually. And you meet, that's where I met all the other musicians, and every single one of my jobs has come from doing a gig, whether it's in a restaurant or a small club or a wedding, with these other musicians and singers.
Often when people say to me, I really want to be a singer, my response often is luck.
Yeah.
Luck. If you're in the right place at the right time, you'll get a job.
But then you have to be able to do it.
Yes, true.
Because you meet, like, when I met Leo, he was like, right, well, you need to turn up on Wednesday, learn all these songs and do a gig. And then I was like, oh no, like quickly learning the songs. And then I turned up, did the gig, and then he just handed me a bit of paper and he said, we've got a 3-week residency at Ronnie's. Do you want to do it? And suddenly I was sharing a bedroom with Steve Griffin, or Griffin Stevens, the actor.
God, that turns the clock back a little bit, doesn't it?
I know.
Jeepers.
And we had like this air beds everywhere, and it was a proper squat. And I'd gone from living in this fabulous like 3-story house in Fulham in the girl band to suddenly squatting. But it was the best time ever. I had the best time.
But you
and I learned on my feet. Like there was these musicians, when you're doing jazz, you have to know what you're talking about. You have to know your theory. You have to know. I did not know. I had far better then than I am now, a better voice than I've got now. But I didn't know anything, and I was drowning with professionals. And I suddenly realised I really needed to actually do some homework. It wasn't just about dancing around in my pop band anymore.
But did you find, because I'm certainly with some of the gigs I've done, especially when you've been out there, do you not find you learn more sitting on a bed with 6 other people of an evening in a squatty room in your digs, just chatting and jamming and actually talking through stuff and having a nice time? I learn more in that situation than I do if I was to sit down with Rimmen Schneider and analyse, Bach chorales.
Oh yeah. No, we did it all the time. We all used to sit with guitars in that little squat and just singing songs. I used to write a lot. I loved writing still at that point, and I was just writing whatever I wanted, and we'd all sing it, jamming some harmonies, and then we'd sit and analyse in a fun way, like Sam Cooke. Just listening to his voice. He sounds like a clarinet sometimes. It's the most stunning thing I've ever heard. But we'd be listening to Donny Hathaway, and we keep finding new singers and sharing, music with each other. And it was brilliant. It was amazing.
So, I think talking to people and finding opportunities to meet other musicians and singers and people who share a passion, whether they're pros or not. You don't know. You never know what is going to come from a conversation with people, and not necessarily. Look, if I could give anyone a piece of advice when it comes to I want to be a singer, it would be don't have conversations with people in the industry thinking they're going to help you to get into the industry. Have natural conversations about music and about the things that really excite you when it comes to singing and music. They're the conversations that certainly I remember with people that I have with people now, and they ask me that, and you kind of go, I love you because you're not asking for it on a plate.
No.
What you're asking me is artistic questions. You're asking me how can I make this piece of music come alive? What can I do in this to make my technique better as I sing this song? And I go, you're the sort of person that's going to do well. Not the who do you know? Could you put my name? Can you pass my name to someone? And you can always tell. You can always tell.
The amount of messages that all the singers from Strictly get of just like, I'm a singer. How do I get that job? And it's like, well, I've never heard of you. I don't know who you are.
Work hard.
But also they might have the best voice you've ever heard. It doesn't mean you can sit in that chair because, again, it's so fast paced. It's quick. You've got to be Dave has ears of doom, and you haven't got time to work out. There's no one teaching you a part here. It's nothing like that. You might be given a song one week that isn't your vibe.
Yeah.
Each one of us who started that show were brought on because, this song is right for you. And you start off thinking, I'm amazing. This is brilliant. I'm brilliant.
And then you get Mary Poppins.
And then you get something which is not you.
Yeah.
And you just have to do it. You have to find a way to do it.
Yeah.
And it's pretty scary.
I think we've covered quite a lot. So
Yes.
just, as we're starting to head towards the end of this episode, what's in your kind of looking back at what your journey, give me a couple of moments that really got you, and we've talked about Ronnie Scott, obviously that was a big defining moment for you.
Massively.
Go early, put yourself in the position of those people that are saying, I want to be a singer, and just kind of, are there any moments in your, because you're only in your mid-20s, so there can't be that many.
Oh my gosh, there are so many. I would say know who you are. Don't be scared of making a decision that you're comfortable with. There were so many times I'd say yes or do something because I thought that's what was expected, or especially as being an artist, you have to stand your ground. Actually, there was one point where I met a big label guy and he was like, come and record some dance music. I hate dance music, but I went and did it because I thought, I might be able to make it isn't even a thing. It's ridiculous. Don't think about making it, think about the music. Think about the music and what you like and where your passion sits, and make sure, as long as you know where you're going, it will happen. It will naturally
There's
fall.
integrity and there's big-headedness.
Yes.
And that integrity of, I'll do that, it's not me, but I'll do it because it's an experience, over, I'm not doing that, it's not me, I don't do that. No, I am this, and that's my niche.
No, you can try different things, but don't feel pressured.
No.
Don't do it for the wrong reasons.
No, but that's what I mean. With integrity, there is that you can say no with integrity, but
yes,
you can also say, actually, I can do that.
Yeah,
it's not me, but I can do that. That's fine.
Well, you won't know until you try something.
Yeah,
you won't know.
Had a penny.
You've dipped your toe.
Exactly. And there's so many opportunities. There's a lot of things that people can do. That are good opportunities. You don't know where they're going to go, but I think it's really important that you just put yourself in that position. Put
yourself out there, and don't be scared of making mistakes, especially early on. Don't, especially now with the way Insta and everything works. I'm definitely from an era where you would record something, spend ages making sure it's the perfect piece, or writing or anything. You just make sure it's perfect. Now people put their everything out there. Everything, let's test it all and see what flies. Let's see what sits. And I think that's definitely something of the modern age, which I maybe need to get used to. But I think it's important. Actually, it's quite good.
Speaking of which, we've got a YouTube channel. We are going to put some things on there, so
we are.
Keep an eye on that. But other than that, I think it's time we probably wrapped up this episode.
Well, that's a shame.
I know, right? So. Summarize what we've talked about in a nutshell.
I would say that one size doesn't fit all. That's what I'd say. Okay. What do you think?
Try everything, even if you don't think it's a fit. Have a go. Put yourself out there. So that's our first episode done. That's so exciting. So if you like what you've heard, then click subscribe. Sign up for notifications for new episodes, and keep an eye on us, because we're going to be posting some really good stuff over the coming months. Yeah, on our next episode, I've got my very dear friend, Jamie Squire, joining us. He'll be talking about everything 1975, to his father's career, to his wonderful voice, and his song producing and writing. Yep, he's very exciting. He's really annoyingly talented. And if there's something that you want to know, that you say, actually, I'd love to hear them talk about this, give us a comment, send us a message, and always happy to talk about something. specific if you want to.
Yeah, but be kind, because we're emotional beings, we're performers, and we can't
She is. I'm a hard-nosed cow.
She's horrendous.
Anyway, that's it from us. So join us next Sunday for our second episode.
Where we'll be
Taking it from the top. Bye.
Bye.